Warning, this podcast is naughtier than a pack of rebellious squirrels at a bird feeder. Listener discretion is advised. Your episode starts in 3, 2, 1. So if you need to start the clock on my therapy session, I recommend that you do that absolutely right now. Because I have to admit something to both of you.
Okay, what is this?
I have such immense anxiety every time I put a fucking book on our spreadsheet list. I put one on, I take one off, I put one on, I take one off, and then I pick a different book. Then I look at what the two of you choose and say, oh, does mine make sense here? Take it off, put it back on. Why does this fucking stress me out?
I don't know, but I have noticed, and I was starting to worry about you.
Yeah.
Today's going to be a very special episode because I think there's something for everyone.
There's a couple somethings for some people, too, at the same time.
Yeah. And welcome to the Lusty Library Podcast. If you're a return listener, oh my gosh, thank you so much. We appreciate all your love and support. But have you done your job? Have you gone to any of our podcast platforms and given us a review? Have you screamed from the rooftops, I love this podcast, to 3 of your friends? Because that's the only way we can continue to grow. And we love doing this for you. If you're a new listener, a little bit about what we do here. Each episode, the host picks a romance novel that none of us have read before. We sit down, we read the book, we pick a signature cocktail that pairs beautifully. Then we drink like fishes and we scream like bitches over the entire book. You know, and it's really funny because I'm sitting here looking back and a lot of season 1 was me yelling at Birdie to break the quintessential stick up her ass. And now all of a sudden me and Bird, we're like mind melding over the books. We're giving the same scores. We're loving everything. Birdie, you've broken from your cocoon and become a butterfly.
It's so beautiful.
Reading on your own like a big girl.
I'm such a big girl now.
Oh.
I'm so fucked up.
But Lex, what the fuck has happened to you?
I don't know what you mean.
I felt we were a little bit more aligned in season 1, but season 2, I'm like, I cannot pick anything to make you happy.
I'm the anchor here. I'm the steady rock. I know what I like, and I like what I like.
But see, if Lex actually liked everything that you picked,
It'd be boring.
it would be boring. I get such a thrill out of reading something and knowing that one of you is going to absolutely hate it. I can't lie.
For the longest time, I have been telling you guys about Zodiac Academy. I love Zodiac Academy. When I first picked this up in 2022, 8 of the 9 books was done, and I binged them like it was a barrel of tiramisu on a Sunday. They were so good. And then book 9 got released, and I was like, oh, it's been a while. Oh, fuck, I'm going to have to start from the beginning.
You crack me up every time you do that. You're like, I have to reread all 8 before I can go to 9.
I got to go back to book 1. I must refresh myself. I like to pay attention to what's happening. So we had a little bit of a recording break. We got ahead of the game and we took a little time. So I read books for me and I decided it's finally happening. So I plunged in and it took me 2 fucking weeks. But I read all 9 books out of the Zodiac Academy.
Wow.
Finally finished.
Wait, it took you 2 weeks?
2 weeks because the books are 20 hours long.
How did it take you 2 weeks? How did it not take you 2 years?
She doesn't sleep.
Holy shit.
Today we're about to discuss Forget Me Not Bombshell by the dynamic sister duo of Caroline Peckham and Susanne Valenti. Now this is special because these are interconnected standalones done by 6 different authors.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Nerds.
Each book can be read by itself. You'll understand the full story. But if you read all 6, you go through every crime family. And why did I think this was perfect? Because Birdie, I got a present for you.
Oh, God. Girl, you fucking delivered with the mafia shit here.
Mafia kink engaged.
Engaged so hard.
And I gave it to you with a beautiful red bow.
You fucking delivered.
And Lex, I would never, ever, ever forget about you. Can you say why choose?
I did see that.
And then when you mix it all together with the dash of dark romance and put it in the blender, baby, I am eating it up. If you've never heard of this book, let me read you the summary. I was sold to my enemies, the butchers of London mob who run an empire built on sin and greed. The stories I've heard about the way they rule their underworld are enough to make my heart race. But those rumors have nothing on the truth. Danny, Church, Frank, the three men who own me now, the head of this so-called kingdom and the two savages who enforce his wrath. They made a peace deal with my family, which came at a cost. Me, a mafia princess gifted to them as a bride. So here I am in my white dress with a gun to my head and a knife in my garter. I won't become their plaything. I won't become their prize. The war between our families might have ended with this union, but I'm starting a battle of my own, and I'll trade my body for a chance to leave this wedded bliss behind. The only question left is whether they'll be the ones bleeding out, or if I'll end up with my heart torn from my chest and fed to those hungry British dogs. Ooh, this is so good. So good.
Okay, that was a pretty good summary.
Yeah,
it was.
I just told you how it took me 2 weeks to go through 9 books. Why did I not fucking imagine that this book was gonna be a thick one? Well, she is fucking 696 pages. Ladies, 4 more pages. Could we have made it at even 700? The epilogue is 92 pages long.
Well, 3 epilogues. It's got that Lord of the Rings ending where the movie's over. Nope, keep going. Nope, keep going.
Because we don't want to waste your entire day talking about this book. We're going to move fast. And there are some parts that you're just going to have to pick up the fucking book and read on your own. But you guys ready to dive in?
Yes.
Throw me in the water.
All right, let's do it. The book opens up and we get to meet Benny and Danny. Daddy died. He had a coronary on the fucking shitter. Lo and behold, they now lead the London mob.
But they also make it sound like they rule all of Europe, kind of, right? Like the Sicilians and the Russians and the Irish pay tithes or whatever, which I thought was an interesting construct.
They've got a secondary level behind the scenes. So they've got the Butcher Gang, which is up front, and that's what everybody knows because they're Benny and Danny Butcher. Then there's the firm. That's the next level that is this mysterious thing that runs all of Europe. And we find out, oh, it's actually run by the butchers too.
I thought that was super cool little element. I really liked the intro to Benny too.
Yes.
So it really gives you the impression that Benny is the brains of the operation and Danny is the fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's a bit fucking unhinged.
Very much based off of the Crave brothers, who were the famous mobsters in England. And you had the smart one, and then you had the quote-unquote weaker, little bit crazy one.
I don't think Danny was weaker. I think he was just insane. He was legit psychopath.
But Benny could keep him in line. Benny did a really good job of reeling him in. So they've now just taken over the mantle, and they're headed to a really, really big meeting with all the heads of the major mobs throughout the country. So sitting down at the table are the Butcher Boys, head of the London mob, the Mexican cartel, the Sicilians who rule the Costa Nostra in New York, the Irish mob who run Boston, the Russian Bratva from Las Vegas, and finally the Italian outfit who owns Chicago. And they're about to barter this gigantic peace treaty. They realize they've shed too much blood between each of their different factions. So they're gonna come to a peace treaty. All of the heads of each of these mob divisions have daughters. So why not do a kind of pick your name out of a hat and find your new wife?
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Each one of the heads of the mafia families are required to take a bride from a rival mafia family.
Don't you love that moment where Benny and Danny are kind of going into the room and right at the last minute, Danny starts to run to get the seat at the table and Benny's like, nope. And he just walks a little bit faster than Danny to sneak into the seat because he's really the guy that's going to have the seat at the table.
Yeah.
That was everything. Their whole dynamic was explained to me in one moment.
And this was all very new. Their dad just recently died.
But I loved it because I already liked Benny from page one. And I was so relieved when he got the seat at the table. So he was the person that was going to choose the name out of the hat.
But you were already looking at Danny going like, watch your back, Benny.
Exactly.
I don't care if you're twins. I don't care if you think you've got your brother on lockdown. Never take your eye off that boy.
No.
Benny puts his hand in the hat and he pulls out Anya Volkov from the Bratva in Las Vegas. Now, because not every single one of the daughters are of age, they're going to wait 10 years until the youngest turns 18, and then this peace treaty will be executed. Fast forward 10 years. Anya is on the plane with her bodyguard, and she's headed to London. Now, Anya is a little bit different than what you would put in your head of a Russian mafia princess.
Because she's brought up in the U.S. She was brought up in Vegas, so she is very American.
So she's 26 years old, bit of a rocker chick. She's got some hard angles to her. She's not wearing heels. And of course, she's aggravating her bodyguard on the plane while he sleeps.
She is trying to see how many straws she can fit into his mouth while he's sleeping. She's the queen of pranks because she's a little sister. She had to grow up being smarter than her three big brothers and just as strong and just as fast. I thought at first, I was like, oh, God, is she going to be a fucking bratty princess? Because I can't handle this. And then in the first few minutes, you're like, oh, no, she's actually smart and funny and witty and sassy, and she dishes it right back, and you learn quickly about her that she can fight.
It was very hard for her because being a girl in the Russian mafia family, her dad was ruthless. Her dad spared none of them.
Yep.
They all got his wrath at some point within their life. So she was raised to be tough, even though she wasn't put in any of the situations like a son of a mafia boss would be. So the brothers come up with a plan. They're sending her bodyguard, Aldrich, with her, and they're going to get her out of this peace agreement. That's all Anya knows.
God.
She wasn't privy to any of this information, but her brothers cut her back.
She's just got to play along.
Oh, it stressed me out so much thinking about this. I'm like, they're going to start an all-out war. They're like, yeah, okay, we're going to make it look like a natural accident. But I'm like, oh, my God.
They want to kill Danny. This is the only way this is going to happen. So they land, and they're at the curb, and here comes this red little Mini Cooper screaming in. And this guy gets out of the car, and Anya's pretty much drooling. She's immediately attracted to him, but he's weird. He has all these iconic English tattoos randomly all over his body, the postage stamp with Queen Elizabeth on his arm.
I actually love that tattoo.
Big Ben, the London Eye.
He's dressed like he just pulled the brightest things out of his wardrobe. Like he is not subtle in any way, shape, or form.
The only colors he wears are red, white, and blue because of the British flag.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
This is Anya's description of him. His jaw was in need of a shave, and as he rounded the Mini, I noticed he was wearing muddy green rubber boots nearly up to his knees. His skin was vampire pale, but his muscles were werewolf-worthy. And I let myself stare as I took in the self-assuredness and the way he gave absolutely no fucks about the attention he was drawing. It looked like the Queen had invited him to high tea, then thrown up every English cliche in the book all over him. Damn, why was that hot, though? So basically, things spiral rather quick. Anya says to this guy, who she doesn't even know his name, who's on a Bluetooth, basically giving a critique to the guy on the phone about Anya's body.
It was so bold. I was like, wait, who is this? Right? Like, I thought the future husband was going to go pick her up, but no, apparently not. This is a right-hand man, a lackey? Who the fuck is this?
Yep.
Oh, she's a 9 out of 10 in the face and maybe a 2 out of 10 in the tits. Like, what a dick.
But she gives it right back to him immediately. I loved her from this minute.
Yes.
She is not putting up with nobody's fucking shit.
Her comebacks are so good.
Yeah.
But quickly, shit fucking crumbles. This guy fills her in that her bodyguard is not going with her. The bodyguard who has her money and her credit cards in his pocket.
This is when she finds out that the plan was all a lie and that she's just going with him and she is going to have to marry Danny. He just looks actually defeated because he's been with her forever.
This guy who finally introduces himself as Church picks Anya up, throws her in the back seat of the Mini, and starts to drive away with her luggage in the middle of the road.
I'm pretty sure he even went so far as to drive over said luggage in the road. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah.
She loses it because now all of a sudden everything came crumbling down and all her stuff is gone. But she's kept the one most important thing to her, her iPod. The iPod was given to her by her brother when she was 12 to help her cope through some really bad times that were happening in the family and to help her be able to close off and to jump into her own world. And this has been her security blanket her entire life.
Yeah, muffling the sounds of people getting beaten or potentially murdered. Yeah, I think I would want to not hear that.
Church drives like a bat out of hell. She's hid in the window, in the back seat. Her life is in danger. He's going to get them killed. He's driving so reckless. And he brings them to his apartment. They go upstairs. It's now late at night. And she's like, okay. She has nothing to wear. She only has whatever T-shirt she was wearing and a pair of leggings, her headphones. And all of a sudden she starts to freak out when her headphones die.
Mm-hmm.
The battery's gone. And she basically has to beg Church to go get her a charger. He does, in the most flamboyant way.
Which we come to know as the church way.
The church way.
Yep.
Where he basically has an unwilling victim in front of him and he razzle-dazzles them with his personality.
He just loves to play with fire.
Mm-hmm.
The rush of being a bad boy for him is so high. He just can't stop it, even for something as simple as a fucking $5 charging cable. He couldn't just go in and buy it.
Nobody gets the shop girl to hand over a brand new set of Bluetooth headphones. So they get back to the apartment. Anya proceeds to sit on the floor, plug in the headphones until they charge. Church gets naked and goes to bed. And he says, oh, by the way, it gets really cold in here. And she's like, well, why don't you get the landlord to fix the heat? He goes, because I'd have to pay the landlord to do that.
Oh, my God. What a douche.
So finally, once her headphones charge up, she actually climbs into bed with him and finds warmth in him. She puts her cold feet on him. The next morning, her headphones are knocked off her head because she wears them all night long. She loves rock music. Beatles, Eric Clapton, Johnny Cash.
It's like they looked at the Rolling Stone 100 greatest albums and picked stuff off of there because everything there is something that you can't say isn't a great song.
They're pressed for time because today's her wedding day. She's going to marry Danny. Anya hops into the shower. Church hops in the shower with her.
Fucking bold, this fucking guy.
And it gets a bit flirty. There's chemistry there right off the bat.
It's a little that, and it's a little she's looking for allies to see who she can manipulate to be able to get out of this situation.
They get out of the shower, they dry off. She goes into Church's drawers and picks clothes. An old vintage T-shirt, a pair of boxer shorts that she rolls up.
A Beatles T-shirt.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, cute. I actually forgot about that. That's adorable.
When there is a knock on the door, it is her ride to the hotel to get ready. And she meets big brooding Frank.
Fucking Frank.
Who is part of the Butcher Boys, who is in Danny's inner circle. And he is fucked up mean motherfucker. He is not very nice.
Very stoic.
Church had been very kind. When he got her headphones, he also got her a torch. I guess that's what the Brits call a fucking flashlight.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought it was a mini lighter, and I was like, why the fuck would Church buy her a lighter? What an idiot. She's going to burn this place down in 2 seconds. And then I was like, oh, no, it's a fucking flashlight.
It's a flashlight, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So as Anya's getting ready to leave with Frank to go get ready for the wedding, Church picks up the torch and goes to put it in the waistband of the boxer shorts that she's wearing. And he pulls out the fish knife that Anya tried to steal.
I love that he's so bold as to be like, I'm going to go in your pockets. It's so sensual, that moment.
I love that's what you focus on.
Yeah.
Because you know what I focus on?
What?
Every chance she gets, she's gonna fuck them up.
Yes.
She's grabbing a knife here. She's grabbing glass. She is not playing victim or waiting to be rescued.
Oh, I loved it.
I love it.
But it made him love her even more, too.
100%.
He was immediately like, ooh, were you trying to shank us?
hot.
But he doesn't say anything to Frank about her doing this.
Yeah.
He covers it up. So Frank and Anya get in the elevator. They're going downstairs, and Anya starts banter, flirting with Frank. She's trying to get another ally, but she is attracted to Frank. They get into the van. They go all the way to the hotel. They're brought up to the room where Anya gets to meet Dylan.
I love Dylan.
And his barrage of ladies.
Dylan, best side character.
Yes.
He was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed every scene he was in.
So much fun. I love imagining a super muscle-bound, I could fucking kill you man as an absolute queen. Oh, it's so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the way that he immediately was just like, we are going to be allies. I'm going to help you get through this.
Yes.
Dylan and the ladies get her all dolled up and ready to go. And her next step is to go ahead and put on her wedding dress. She goes into the bathroom. She looks at the dress and it's audacious. I mean, it is over the top. It is gigantic and diamonds and low cut and boobs hanging out. Completely the opposite of Anya's style in any way, shape, or form. Dylan follows in after her and he opens a box and there's a collar inside. This is from Danny, made for her to wear.
Ugh.
Anya loses her shit. She picks up the collar, shoves it in the fucking toilet, then grabs a fucking toilet bowl cleaner and continues to jam it down there because the collar's not going down.
But I love the way Dylan was freaking out like, oh my God, no.
No,
You don't want to
no.
do this. You don't want to mess with Danny.
And then what do they say? Speak of the devil and you shall see his tail.
Yep.
Danny comes walking in the door. He goes into the bathroom and he's like, what is going on? She gives him shit about the collar and he looks in the toilet and he fucking slams her face in the fucking toilet.
Wow.
It's brutal from first meeting.
He bangs her head up against the bathroom mirror.
Grabs her face and smears everything.
He goes, now you're my property. You belong to me. I will do with you what I want to do. He brings her over to the bed, ties her to it, pulls out a fucking brand, and brands her ass butcher.
Fucking unreal. The levels of psychopath that this guy is.
She got this all within the first 30 seconds of meeting him.
Not even a hello.
No.
What would have crumbled so many other people just fuels Anya. She is now fucking determined she's going to kill him. All of a sudden, you're like, but what happened to Benny?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we find out Benny is in jail.
For the past 8 years.
He's been sentenced to 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was framed by Danny.
Douche canoe.
Absolutely. We already started at douche canoe level 904 with Danny. This brought it up into the 1,000 range.
It was already in the stratosphere when we discovered that he would disembowel puppies.
Ugh,
He was completely written off.
He's a psychopath. But Benny, being the brains of the operation, has been working at this. He's been going through the appeal process, good behavior, paying off anybody he can.
Yeah.
But he's also doing something interesting. While he spent his 8 years in prison, he's been getting an astronomical amount of tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think he's addicted to them. His mother doesn't know he's being released. There's only one person who knows he's getting out of jail today.
Churchy church.
Who is there to pick him up as he walks out of the prison doors. Immediately, within 10 minutes of being in the car, the two of them back together are wreaking mafia havoc.
Yeah.
Some guy cuts him off. The guy has road rage. And Church and Benny look at each other and say, are we going to let him get away with this?
Nope.
Unbelievable.
I will say it involves a gun, a stick, a windshield, the guy peeing his pants, getting on his knees and groveling for mercy.
Not just a stick. I imagine it as a full tree branch that he pulled off the side of the road. That's like a fucking club.
These fucking guys. I was so annoyed. I was like, Benny, be the good boy. Come on, don't.
No, he's been locked up for too long.
Church is such a bad fucking influence.
This is just the beginning of the fun they're about to have that day. Church pulls over on a territory that is not theirs. So this is the fun, intricate parts of this mafia story. So we know the butchers are big wigs within this turf. They run a gigantic portion of it. They team up a lot with the bakers.
I love that.
The bakers are used as like a subsidiary for jobs the butchers don't want to do, but the two families are extremely close and work well together. Then all of a sudden, Danny and Benny's grandpa says, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we had a candlestick maker? Lo and behold, some guy comes in and appoints himself the candlestick maker. But the candlestick maker doesn't align with the butchers and the bakers. The candlestick maker runs sex trade, runs dirty drugs on the street. Believe it or not, the butchers, even though they are ruthless, run with legit businesses. They have the businesses pay them tithe for protection, and it's out of the hotels and the casinos and the restaurants.
And the construction company.
Which is their biggest moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since Benny's been in jail, the construction company is going under. Benny's first mission is he's got to bring that back up. But all of a sudden, Church pulls over at the side of the building that's not technically in the territory they should be in, throws on a police officer costume, which is funny. I figured they would call it a Bobby costume.
Yeah.
Club, the hat, the whole kit and caboodle. And they end up breaking into the candlestick maker's office. And then mafia madness ensues.
Fucking ridiculous.
Guns, killing, running, drugs, stealing something out of the safe, saving a woman who they see on video getting fucked by the candlestick maker, setting the entire joint on fire, everybody coming up to the office, them running.
But all of this is under the ultimate goal of righting some of the shit that Danny has fucked up.
Yeah.
Yes.
While Benny was in jail. So I like that he just immediately jumped back in, started trying to fix shit.
Their next stop, Benny and Church are going to break into the room at the church that Danny is at. Benny stabs him. They dope him up with a tranquilizer. And now Benny is going to become Danny. And the reason he got every single tattoo that matched Danny's while he was in jail.
When that reveal happened, I was like, oh my God, Benny just got so much hotter.
But now they have a problem, and I'm like, you two dumb fucks didn't figure out what your escape plan was. Now you got Danny on the floor, passed out, with a fucking knife in his back. What are you going to do with them? The vicar's going to come in any minute. The vicar's already knocking on the door. Everything okay in there, gentlemen?
Time to call the bakers.
Guess who's one of the bakers?
Dylan!
This was the best, most amazing scene ever. Dylan's called in for cleanup. Now, the thing is, nobody can know that Benny's back. And Dylan knows both Benny and Danny. So they put a bag over Danny's head, and they instruct Dylan to bring him to the warehouse.
And not to look. And that actually shows how feared the butchers are. That nobody would even think to take a little peeky poo underneath.
Benny says, I don't know how we're going to refer to this fucking guy because we know it's Benny. He's playing Danny. So now how do we proceed with the rest of the book?
From here forward, when we say Benny, we mean Benny acting as Danny.
Until we reveal that it's the other way
Right,
around.
right. Exactly.
Benny, a.k.a. Danny, says to Dylan, I want my knife back. Dylan pulls it out of Danny comatose on the floor, packs the wound with wool, then proceeds to cauterize the bleeding with a fucking curling iron.
Obsessed with Dylan.
Cleans up the whole thing and puts it all into baggies and puts it back in his purse. Says, you'll get my bill. Benny gets ready, and it's time for him to go see his wife. And here's this beautiful, beautiful blonde coming down the aisle in that atrocious dress. Oh, my God.
This moment made me realize I fucking love a good first look on the altar wedding reveal. I love it. It's a common mini trope. But then I was freaking out because I knew that she thought that he was the real Danny and that she was going to be so mad at him. And I was like, no. Oh my God, we love Benny. No, we love Benny. Fuck.
Oh, she hates him. She's seeing red. Because right now, she can feel the brand and it's being rubbed up against by that atrocious dress. All she can think of is, he put my head in a toilet. He's collared me like he owns me like a dog. He branded me like an animal. Fuck this guy. He's drawing his last breaths.
When she gets to the end of the aisle and he touches her and they go to exchange vows, she feels something. There's this weird chemistry. She's like, what the fuck? This guy did all that to me and I'm feeling the zing in my hoo-ha-ha-ha.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, God, it's almost like he's a different person right now. This book fucking killed me.
I want sips of drinks every time. It's like he's a different person.
Yeah.
Well, then why don't we talk about today's cocktail if we're going to make this a drinking game?
Oh, my God. My drink's fucking gone. I want another one. It was so good.
This is a kick-ass one. It's called the Original Gangsta, but it definitely has a British spin to it.
Beefeater gin and jam.
I've never had fucking jam in a cocktail.
Oh, honey.
That's what you do with the jam ends in your fridge is you put some alcohol in there and you shake it up and put it over ice and there you go. You got a cocktail.
Fuck.
Oh.
Clearly, we have not been doing Joey solid.
We are bad friends.
God, we fucked up.
If you want to see what this drink looks like and get the recipe, make sure you visit us at thelustylibrarypodcast.com. Hit the recipes button and you'll find it there. But you know what? If you're like me, minimal effort, maximum reward, scroll all the way down the bottom. Sign up for our mailing list. You'll get notified every time a new episode launches, along with their drink recipe right there. So you can make 5, 6, 7 of these beautiful, delicious drinks and sip on them while you're listening to the episode.
Drink responsibly, read responsibly.
We don't want to read responsibly, but please do drink responsibly. Church, Benny, and Anya go outside, and they lead Anya to Church's little teeny tiny Mini Cooper. Anya's like, I'm not going to fit in the back with this dress. Oh, sure as fuck, they jam her in.
I love that Church is like driving the newlyweds like a fucking crazy man because he drives like a fucking bat out of hell all the time, not just when he's picked her up from the airport. Apparently, this is just his standard way of driving. God, this is where it really started to kick off here. We were talking about this. I'm like, oh, can't wait to get in the car. Can't wait to get in the car.
Words are getting exchanged in the backseat of the car about how Benny can't satisfy her. And he goes, I can show you how I can treat you well. And he basically puts his hands on her panties. And he fingers her in the backseat of the car with Church driving.
There's this really great moment where he's going down on her. He's underneath the million layers of tulle, which I fucking loved. The image of like her dress filling the entire Mini Cooper and his head between her legs with all the tulle. And she's like, oh shit, well, maybe this fucking marriage won't be that bad after all. She's like, all right, I guess we can just have fun while we're doing this and I'll just kill him later. She's really enjoying herself. And she's reaching around and she's grabbing the seat, the beautiful leather Mini Cooper seat. And what does Church do? He's like, don't fuck up the leather, love. And he pulls her hand over so that she can grab onto his chest.
Yep.
So she's having this moment with him in the mirror because they've already had this chemistry going. The scene was hot.
As Benny is going down on her, she's got his jacket near her and she feels that there's a knife in there. So she needs to figure out when the opportunity is to get this knife. She's going to execute her plan. Church brings them back to the warehouse. The warehouse is what Benny and Danny bought when they first got the power, and they converted it. It's basically their home base for the Butcher Boys. Benny brings Anya upstairs, and all she wants to do is execute her plan.
I thought you were going to say all she wants to do is execute her husband. And I was like, God, that's a really interesting way to say it. But yeah, I guess so.
She does want to execute her husband, but the minute Benny starts touching her, game over, and they end up fucking. After everything is done, she was able to get the knife. But Anya is a little upset at herself that she let herself get fucked by her husband. And all of a sudden, she hears Benny make a noise, go, what the fuck is this? Anya thinks it's because Benny saw her grab the knife out of his jacket pocket. But no, Benny notices the brand on her ass and asks, who the fuck did this? Anya's like, are you touched? What is wrong with you?
Are you touched? Yeah.
You did this to me.
That's the only thing I kept having run in my head was that it worked because she thought he was nuts and maybe he had a split personality.
Or that he was like so drugged up earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the only way it works.
Because she's not a dum-dum.
No.
Anya is very, very smart.
The suspense of waiting for her to realize that it was actually Benny. Oh my God.
It felt a little drawn out, especially with how smart she was.
Yeah, but they did it right. The
Yeah.
moment that it happened was pretty dramatic and fun.
Anya's very confused because she has the knife. She's having this conversation with who she thinks is Danny. She doesn't use the knife on him. Benny leaves the room. He's going to go make an appearance at the reception, and Frank's outside the door. He tells Frank, hey, keep an eye out on Anya. And Frank's like, you already told me that. He's like, I did. Yeah, I did. Do you happen to have a key to that collar that's on her? And Frank's like, why would you give me the key to the collar? No, don't worry about it. And I'm like, Frank's not a dum-dum either. Like, is he not seeing the writing on the walls? We find out there's a gigantic history between Frank and Benny. Church, Benny, Frank, and Frank's brother Oliver were all best friends. Frank blames Benny for Oliver's death because Benny brought Oliver out to a situation he should have never been in. So all he wants is revenge on Benny, and he's sitting there at the butcher gang waiting until Benny is released from jail so he can kill him.
A, he felt like he had nowhere else to go, and B, he was staying close because he knew Benny would eventually come back. So that's why he put up with shithead Danny.
Frank is going to stay with Anya because Frank's been told by Danny, do not take an eye off of her. Anytime I'm not with her, you're with her. Benny screams into the room and asks Anya, hey, do you want to go to the reception? And she basically screams from the bedroom, go fuck yourself. Love the sass out of that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Benny goes off to do what he's going to do, and Frank walks in the room, and all of a sudden, Anya comes out of nowhere with a knife in her hand and whirls on him. Frank looks at her and goes, were you trying to stab me? This is the best fucking line ever. She goes, no, I was trying to butter a piece of toast and I slipped. I chuckled out loud from that stupidity. Anya's worried that Frank is now going to rat her out. She wasn't able to execute the kill. She wouldn't do it on Benny. She tried it on Frank. It didn't work out. He overpowered her.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, are you going to tell Danny what I just did? And Frank protects her. And he doesn't.
I love how your eyes just started shining the minute you said protects her. You got star eyes for Frank.
Oh my God, of course, because I am so fucking attracted to the broken, brooding big boys.
Oh, are you kidding me? Benny is my boy.
And you can take me to church.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
I love a scoundrel with a heart of gold.
Oh, I guess you married one, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Anya hops in the shower. She flaunts her nakedness, and Frank is sitting there watching her. Anya's trying to get as much information as possible, asking about who the firm is, why the butcher boys don't take more control, asks about Frank's tattoo, which I'm not going to try to read you Latin, but it basically says, let us live since we must die. And Anya asks Frank who he lost. And Frank tells her about Oliver, his brother. And then he looks at Anya and says, who did you lose? Because he instantly knows. And she talks about her mother. And her mother was killed by her father in a brutal, brutal act when she was 12. And she heard everything. Anya needs comfort. Frank puts the headphones on her, but grabs her iPod and starts to play her music, shuffling through different songs, curating a playlist. Something so minuscule you can tell means so much.
I love this detail because I don't know if you guys ever used to make like mixtapes or playlists for somebody and
totally.
you're picking specific songs to try and like communicate something.
Yes.
And that's absolutely tapping into this.
Anya lays down. Benny is not back, and she just has a fitful night, tossing and turning, headphones over her ears. Frank's sitting in the chair in the corner, and he never leaves. Every time Anya stirs, Frank stirs, like he's just protecting her, sitting in the corner. It becomes really, really late that night when Benny comes back, and he is drunk off his rocker. He's singing some British limerick while he's taking a shower.
He's funny, too. Oh, I just love him.
And Anya's like, if he fucking thinks he's gonna have sex with me again, he's gonna die. Benny gets into bed. I've missed this. I don't have to jerk off into my pillow tonight. My beautiful pillow wife. And he basically spoons her and falls fucking asleep. The next morning, she is woken up by her headphones being knocked off of her head. Time to get up. If you want to eat, you got to go downstairs right now. Anya takes a quick shower. A dress has been left for her on the bed. And she's like, no, I'm not putting that ugly thing on. She goes into Benny's drawers and pulls out a pair of jeans, a belt, makes it as tight as possible, a t-shirt, no bra, and some tube socks. And goes prancing downstairs and runs into some of the butcher boys there. There's Sykes and some other creepy guys. Church is there. Frank is there. There's no food. There's no coffee and no tea. She literally is getting nothing for breakfast. Yeah.
God, I would be so fucking pissed.
She is.
So Benny comes in and he looks at the state of Anya and he says to Church, listen, take her out shopping, please. And Church really feels like it's his responsibility because he fucking drove over her luggage when he picked her up. So he brings her to this very traditional store and Anya kind of, when she gets in there, has a nervous breakdown about it. She's like, I'm not going to be this pantsuit wearing high-heeled lady. He can't take me away from me. And Church immediately recognizes like, oh shit, something is fucking happening here.
Mm.
He's like, it's okay. Where do you want to go? What do you need? She's like, you owe me. I've been collecting my shirts. He goes, that's fine. We'll go down to Camden. We'll get you all the band t-shirts that you want. Danny doesn't want you to be anybody different than who you are. So they get back into the car, and all of a sudden she sees this vintage store, and she screams at Church, stop the car! Stop the car!
I love this scene so much.
She hops out and goes running for this vintage store. Church grabs his gun and is going, what's wrong? What's happening? She's like, we're going in here. Church looks around and goes, this is not our territory. This is really bad. She goes, we're going in here. Dude relents. Immediately, you know he's going to give her whatever she wants.
He's a smitten kitten.
Yeah.
She's a smitten kitten when she sees all the stuff in the store. Oh my God, this is the first time that Church sees a smile on her face. She's pulling all these vintage dresses. She wants everything on the mannequin. Church gets the mannequin out of the window, brings it over to the counter. They start stripping the mannequin. So she has all these clothes. She asks the salesperson if she can go try it on. So they go into the fitting room. And Anya doesn't close the curtain.
No, he just sits watching her change.
And she has no underwear. She has no bra. So she's completely naked. Church has knickers in his hand. And he strolls over to Anya. And he has her lift her legs and put them in the underwear. And he is slowly working them up her body. He's touching her thighs. He gets to her hips.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, they got chemistry. Anya feels it like there's a moment. Church wants to take her right there, right now. But he can't do that to his best friend. Because he knows Benny ultimately is a good guy, even though he does bad things. He is nothing like Danny. So they are able to restrain themselves.
But it's hot.
See, Church never really got to me because he was just a little bit too goofy for me.
Oh.
If I'm going to go for a mafia guy,
You're not going gaga over the fifth man on the totem pole.
Hey, he's the other hand.
I get it, but I'm saying Birdie as a whole. Sorry, didn't mean to disrespect your Church. Who, by the by, I don't think we mentioned why Church has his name.
no, it's so silly.
It's so cute. He believes he is related to Winston Churchill. So he quotes Churchill all the time, but he also quotes lots of other big British things because he is just 1,000% British pride.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, yeah, he's goofy, but when the switch flips, that's when I'm like, oh, yeah. He will destroy the world, and he's loyal.
Pretty hot.
So while they're checking out, this weird guy comes in and starts talking to the salesperson and being a little aggressive with her. Anya doesn't feel great about it, but they end up leaving, going to put the bags in the boot of the car, and all of a sudden the guy comes out of the shop and hits Anya, and Church goes after him. Well, it's one of the candlestick makers' men. And they start fighting down an alleyway. And ultimately, Church stabs him. Well, fuck, now we got a problem. They got to call Dylan for a cleanup. They take the guy and put him in the back of the Mini Cooper.
There is not enough room there.
No, well, they make him fit. And they drive over to Dylan's. Church calls Benny and says, hey, listen, we need you to pick us up. We've run into an issue. Benny shows up at Dylan's house. And they're all sitting there having tea. And Benny's really concerned about Anya, who's not paying him any attention at all. But he's concerned that Anya's hurt. Dylan's like, oh, no worries, darling. I checked her over. She's absolutely fine. Benny's like, I got to see for myself. Anya, let's go upstairs and talk. And Benny brings her upstairs and has her pick a room. This is adorable. So she opens the door and she goes, it's a bathroom. And he goes, darling, there's no bath in there. You can call it a loo. You can call it a toilet, but you cannot call it a bathroom. And he's like, would you like to choose again? But Anya, no. She won't backtrack. They go into the bathroom, and things start to get a little weird and crazy.
And steamy as fuck. Oh, my God, Benny. He fucking gets me every time. So they get into this tiny, tiny little bathroom. He can, barely fit himself into it. They have this undeniable chemistry. Despite the fact that she tries to pull a fucking butter knife on him.
Every time she will find something.
She's trying to murder him with a fucking butter knife. And he's just like, I get it. You want to hurt me. So fucking hurt me. As he's starting to touch her and things get so steamy, she's just like, okay, yeah, I will fucking hurt you. So she starts to choke him.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't slow down. He's still finger fucking the shit out of her. And she's trying so hard to choke him.
Oh, and he likes
And
it.
he is like, yes, ma'am. Dude, it is so hot. So she's got all this power over him. This is where I'm like, mafia books. Yes. Give me the powerful guy and the woman who brings him to his knees and ends up with so much power over him.
Also for me, the book where it's a why choose, but she's in fucking control.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
She is ruling all of them.
So she has an orgasm. He does not. And while Benny was going through Danny's room, he ended up finding something really important. So he looks at Anya and he tells her to turn around, and he pulls out the key and he takes the collar off of her. That was something that was really important to him. He didn't want that on her.
So she keeps having these moments where she's just like, okay, I guess maybe this isn't that bad if he just keeps being this person. But I guess I still gotta kill him anyways.
A couple of months pass. They're settling into this new dynamic there. Anya realizes there's no way I'm going to be able to get Benny alone. There's no way I'm going to be able to kill him. So maybe I need to change my plan up. I need to figure out how to get enough money to run. I'll get a new passport. I'll go back to America. That's the only way I'm going to get out of this. So she starts stealing money off the guys. 20 pounds here, 50-pound note there. So she's collecting it and hiding it in a pair of jeans within her closet. So one of the days she's downstairs listening to her music, and she runs into Douche Canoe Sykes again.
Ugh.
We clearly know there are signs that this guy just wants her. And Sykes basically tells her, well, Danny said when he gets tired of you, we all get to have you.
Asshole of the century. I can't believe they actually let him live.
Every moment that Anya starts to feel one way about Benny, a.k.a. who she thinks is Danny, some information comes out about the real Danny that brings her back down. So she's very torn and very tossed. Of course, who comes in to defend her? But our boy Frank! And tells Sykes that this is the boss's wife. He is to stay away, and if he goes near her again, he's going to fucking kill him.
So hot. I love a death threat.
It's so hard because you can tell for some reason Frank has this weird animosity towards Anya. something deep down that angers him about her. But then he has a soft side where he's so protective of her. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? There's something more to this story that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to her after Sykes is gone, do you need your music? She says yes. He puts the headphones on her and then he plays her music again.
Hot.
It is like this release for the two of them. And he's just sitting in the chair with the iPod in his hand. I wanted the two of them together so badly.
He was just so brooding, though.
I know, but it was this just transcendent connection. Like, I felt like she could soften out his edges a little bit.
I love it as each of the men fall for her. They start calling her their own nickname.
Yeah.
So we got Church with Miss America, which I think is cute.
Yep.
Benny and Bombshell.
Yeah.
And I loved Frank's with Cash because she was listening to Johnny Cash. And that goes with their music connection.
So Frank ends up getting a call from Benny in church saying, oh, get on your ready. You're taking her out to the pub tonight. We'll meet you guys there. Anya was really told to not go into Benny's bathroom because for some reason he's very protective. But she's a rebellious, strong bitch. So she goes into the bathroom, and when she touches the mirror, a secret compartment opens up. She finds a wad of cash and a laptop.
Jackpot.
So she cracks open the laptop, and there is a picture of Benny and Danny, and they are fucking identical. You cannot tell them apart, except for the fact that Danny has tattoos and Benny has not one that you can visibly see.
It pissed me off so much that she didn't figure it out when she was looking at that. They led us on so hard.
Yes.
This is one of my things. Okay, Benny got the tattoos to match Danny. How long had Danny had the tattoos? Those of us who have tattoos, you know when one is fresh.
Oh, I know. Willing suspension of disbelief.
Well, you have
Lex.
to. If not, the story is not going to progress.
Yeah.
Now, he had been in jail for 8 years. You're not imagining you're getting high-quality ink in fucking the clink clink. Okay. So they could have already looked like they were aged.
Okay, so he's spending time out in the sun and not taking good care of them.
You have to fuck everything up. Can we just run one fucking episode where you're not trying to debunk something out of the storyline?
It's how my brain works.
Well, keep it to your fucking self.
It's like when she put the Beatles t-shirt on and then 2 pages later she's talking about wearing a Van Halen t-shirt. And I'm like, well, how did the editor not catch this?
Oh, shit.
But I let that one go.
Yes. That's my girl.
This is why they used to put me as continuity on film sets.
Oh, beautiful. God, you would really be great at that.
Lex, you don't understand what you do. You rile Birdie up. You get her all ramped up, so then she starts to add to the list of suspension and disbeliefs. Just cut it out.
I can't help it.
She thinks you're the one that riles me up.
You two rile each other up. She's trying to break into the laptop. It's not working. She hears Frank barking from outside the door. We gotta go. She closes the laptop, puts everything behind the mirror, and they end up going to the Duck and Dog. One of the waitresses come over as they're at the table, and she's like, Frank Smith, are you singing tonight?
Hot.
This is where Frank got hot for me.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Frank's like, no, not tonight. I told you, Sheila. He's actually being very kind to Anya. I think this is a moment where he shows her more softness. He gets her a beer. He gets her chips. They sit down. They eat fries. And then all of a sudden, a delivery guy comes in who screams out Frank Smith and gives Frank a burger back. Frank grabs Anya and brings her to the back and says, Danny thinks it's about time that you learn about the Butcher Boys. And he basically has her open the bag, and there's a shit ton of money in there. Every time a new burger box is opened, there is rolls and wads of money. And this is where we get a bit of a plot dump into what this mafia world looks like, how the Butcher Boys run it.
She should have seen that as a flag, like, Danny would never want to get me in on his business, but Benny would.
I was going to say, it's not so much her who should be getting these things. Frank should really realize, because there's a wide canyon of difference between the two brothers and the way they act.
So they come out of the back room, they go to sit down, and all of a sudden the MC calls Frank Smith to the stage. And he's like, I told you I wasn't going to do it. But he gets up on stage. And he's got his beer in his hand. And he looks over at Anya and he waves her over with a finger. And she hops on the stage and he has her sit down on one of the speakers. He says, "Hold my beer, darling." And he begins to play and sing.
He plays "Oh My Darling, What Have I Done" by White Buffalo. I had to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know that song. Tell me about it.
Holy shit. If you don't know that song, fucking look it up now. Because imagining Frank and the image that I had of him singing that song made the scene so much hotter. The song's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like gravelly and heartfelt. I did want to call out the fact that they did say that he was playing an electric guitar, but the song is an acoustic guitar.
Listeners, is it just me? I really need to know. Do I make an over-exaggeration of this? Or do you roll your eyes too with me?
I think it's about 50-50.
Oh my God.
I think there's, Team Joey and then Team Nerds.
But it's such a poignant part of this moment that he's playing an electric guitar in the story.
Right.
And why might that be, Joey?
Because as he's strumming his guitar and as he's fingering the strings, the vibration is going through the amp that Anya is now sitting on.
Yeah.
And while she is listening to all this, she has a fucking orgasm.
This bitch, she could just blow left and she'd be fucking coming everywhere.
I was going to say, that's not a bad trait.
I mean, I'm angry because I'm jealous. I think I'm a pretty easy lady to please, but I don't think I'm going to be getting all the way there from a fucking amp. This was a little bit of a stretch for me, but it was still hot.
I'm going with there's been so much going on that she's sensitive.
Totally. Yeah.
Frank knows what he did to her, and he said, "If you want to play with me again, this is what you're going to get."
That happened not just in front of a whole crowd of people, but who was in the crowd?
Yeah, Benny and Church had finally come and noticed that something was happening.
Had they arrived or had they come?
They'd arrived. You gotta watch your words with these two. So it's the next day. Benny really needs to go downstairs and talk to his prisoner brother, Danny. He asks Church to take Anya out sightsee because he really needs to be able to go downstairs unnoticed. Church and Anya actually go sightseeing. They're arm in arm. Church brings her all through London. When they're walking downtown and they notice there are some candlestick makers' men who are not supposed to be on that turf. And Church is like, "Well, I can't let them get away with this." So he approaches them. "Hey, boys, what are you doing here?" And an altercation ensues. There's fists being thrown. Anya is fighting. She's going toe-to-toe with some of the guys. But at one point, the candlestick makers' men start to outnumber them, and they realize, "Oh, fuck, we don't have a chance unless we want to be beat into a bloody pulp." So Church looks at her and goes, "Run." They go running down many side streets, hand in hand. They're trying to avoid the candlestick makers' guys. They hop into a rickshaw, and Church looks at the rickshaw driver and says, "Bring us to the river." While they're in the rickshaw, all of a sudden, Church goes, grabs Anya, and fucking kisses her. The adrenaline is running through them. They arrive at the river. He grabs her hands. They go running down the side of the river all the way to the docks. Church looks at Anya and says, "Do you trust me?" She goes, "Yes." And he makes a jump off the dock onto a riverboat. And fucking Anya follows him. And they land on this riverboat. And the riverboat driver knows Church and says, "Oh, are you in trouble? Don't worry. I can give you passage to this city. We'll be there in 30 minutes. Why don't you go below deck and go clean up?" That's when the magic starts to happen.
Fucking Church ain't so loyal after all now, Eddie.
I think we need to let our sexy stud read us what happens below deck.
I pushed my hand down the front of her knickers, finding her fucking soaked for me and sucking her nipple harder as I sank 3 fingers straight into her, stretching and feeling her as I growled my desire into the plump skin of her breast. Anya dug her fingers into my curls, pushing my head down in a clear demand, and I dropped to my knees like a good boy. willing to serve her this once before taking what I wanted from her in kind. I moved my mouth down to her stomach, licking and nipping my way lower as I rolled her knickers down her thighs, pocketing them as she obligingly stepped out of them for me. I kept my mouth moving lower, my dick throbbing with need at the mere thought of tasting her until I was sucking her clit into my mouth and she was moaning my name like it was a damn prayer. Her fingers twisted in my hair as she lifted a leg and hooked it over my shoulder, her heel digging into my spine while I licked and sucked at her, tasting the perfection of her pussy and tugging my cock from my jeans. I looked up at her as I began to jerk off, relieving some of the tension in my cock and loving the way her eyes widened as she watched me. "Shit, you look so fucking hot like that," she moaned as I lapped at her clit more firmly, bathing in the look of her eyes while pumping my cock harder and growling into her sweet pussy. Anya moaned louder as the sound of tourists filling onto the boat reached us and she clapped a hand over her mouth to stifle the noise, her hips gyrating against my face as I fucked her with my mouth and she chased her release. Pre-cum beaded on my cock and I smeared it over the head with my thumb, groaning again as I pumped my shaft and licked her sweet cunt until she was coming all over my face, her fingernails biting into my scalp and her teeth sinking into her own fist as she fought to stay quiet and failed fucking spectacularly.
Oh my God, that was steamy as fuck. The conversation that leads up to Anya in church doing the dirty deed is even better. Anya basically looks at Church and says, "Do you love your boss?" He says, "I do." And she asks, "Are you loyal to him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'd go to hell for that man. Walk right through the fiery gates and let the devil ram a hot poker straight through my blackened heart." And she looks at him and says, "So tell me, why did you fuck his wife?" Holy shit. You knew it was going to happen. There's no way with that explosive chemistry the two of them had.
Church is like, okay, so now we're going to go tell Danny because, yeah, I fucked you, but I'm not doing it behind his back.
So they get back to the house, and Church looks at Danny and Frank and says, "Frank, take Anya out for a bite to eat. I need to talk to Danny about something." And Anya's like, "Oh, fuck, you're really going to?" Church looks at Anya and says, "You need to tell Frank." Frank and Anya go have hot dogs. She tells Frank she slept with Church, and he goes fucking Hulk.
I loved that moment.
Hicks the metal trash barrel.
That's bolted to the ground.
Hicks it up over his head because now he's knocked it over. Slams it on the ground, bending the metal.
I love that she didn't quite catch on and understand yet why he was doing that.
But he's also not admitting to himself quite yet.
Yeah, it's true.
But she gets freaked the fuck out and she runs.
It's fucking dumbass.
And he's chasing her. So she goes into a parking garage, but he catches up to her. He pushes her up against a car, puts his leg between hers and says, "You're a slut? Are you just a whore?" He's calling her these mean and nasty and really dirty, dirty things.
Mm-hmm.
Anya's like, "What, are you jealous?"
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, Frank's phone starts to ring and he jams his hip up against Anya's pussy and she starts to fucking moan. The phone rings again and finally Frank picks it up. It's Benny telling them to come back to the house. Then we go to Benny and Church's conversation where Church tells him that he has feelings for Anya. And Benny is pissed. Benny's like, "You fucked my wife?" Because I think Benny actually is starting to have feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty damn serious about it. Benny kind of relents. "If this is what Anya wants, I think we can make this work. But there's one rule. You cannot fuck my wife if I'm not present."
Thought that was a totally reasonable rule.
Absolutely. Church says, "I have one condition. You have to be the one to tell your wife that you're agreeing to this." So Frank and Anya come back. And Frank is pissed. Frank looks at Benny and says, "So what? She's your slut now? You're going to lend her to anybody in the gang?" Benny tries to get Anya to come over to him to have a conversation, and Frank's kind of like jumping in the way because he's worried about what Benny, a.k.a. Danny, is going to do to her.
Because the real Danny would fucking beat her senseless.
And hand her off to everybody once he was done.
Yeah.
Benny grabs her face, kisses her, and says, if this is what you want, we can work this out. And he explains to her how cool he is with it. And Frank is pissed that Benny is letting this go like it's no big deal. They start to fight. Benny yells at Anya to go upstairs. And Anya's like, I'm not going. And Benny gets pretty ruthless and sends her upstairs. Anya's upstairs and she decides she's going to go back to the bathroom and try to break into this computer. And she does. There's no internet, but she stumbles across a file with her name on it. And the file is basically a fucking schematic of a layout of a fucking dungeon. And all these images of chains and whips and collars and a cage that a human can fit into. Danny was going to keep her as a prisoner.
God, I wanted to kill him myself.
Then she stumbles across another folder, and inside is a video, and watches a guy who she finds out is Oliver, who thinks it's Benny coming towards him. And then as the guy comes into view, realizes it's Danny and watches Danny kill Oliver. And she's like, oh my fucking God, this guy's an animal. I have no choice, but I gotta run. While they're all downstairs fighting, she ends up remembering the key and sees the key on one of the side tables downstairs. Grabs it and decides she's going to make a mad dash through the tunnel because she has that money that's behind the mirror and she has to get the fuck out of there. This is her only chance. She gets into the tunnels and she hears somebody. So she goes down another little hallway, runs into Sykes. Sykes ended up pushing her through a door. Now she's in a poker room with a poker table and 3 of other Sykes' men.
And they're all like, okay, party started.
Oh, Danny said we could have you when he's done with you. So I guess it's our turn to be able to have you. Sykes takes a knife and he cuts the front of her shirt open. She grabs a glass off the poker table. She hits one of the other guys across the head with it, punches one in the nose and he's bleeding. And then she stabs one with Sykes' knife. The girl does not stop fighting. Back at the warehouse, Frank is done with the conversation with Church and Benny. He is pissed, but he needs to go talk to Anya. So he ends up going upstairs, knocking on Anya's door, saying, listen, we need to talk about what happened. And there's no answer. And he opens the door and he realizes Anya's gone. So he runs down to tell Church and Benny, Anya's gone. Church and Benny tell Frank that he needs to go to the Duck and Dog because Frank cannot go in the tunnels. Because if Frank goes in the tunnels, he's going to see Danny and the gig will be all up. Well, they don't find her in the tunnels. They make it all the way to the cellar of the Duck and Dog. They're looking for her and they can't find Anya until they hear somebody scream. Church and Benny go upstairs and it becomes a massacre. Benny is so angry that he stabs one of the guys named Abe over and over again. And there is just blood splurting everywhere. Anya ends up killing one of the guys too. And then as things are winding down, fucking Frank comes in with the leg of a table or a chair, I can't remember which of the two it is, above his head, ready to kill anybody that's hurting her. Anya sees him. She goes running over to him and puts her hands on his face and hugs him. The minute she starts to click back on who these men are and what is happening, they hear, police!
Yep.
Benny's like, we've got 2 minutes to get the fuck out of here before we get caught. As they're leaving the Duck and Dog, Benny tells Frank to set the place on fire. That's the only way they're going to keep the police away from the tunnels. They make it all the way back to the warehouse. Dylan is waiting there for them, has them strip all their clothes off. There's like a plastic sheet there. They're then to all move into one shower because Dylan needs the most minimal area that he has to do a cleanup on. These 4 people have to jam into a small shower and they're cleaning blood off themselves. Anya doesn't want to be there. She knows all 3 men are horrible, horrible men. She needs to get away from them. At one point, she knows she's not going to go to jail for these 3 guys. She grabs sponges and starts to wash their bodies and clean them up. All of a sudden, Frank turns around and she sees the scars on his back and immediately recognizes what that symbol is.
It's her family's crest.
And she knew exactly who would have done that. Her brother, Nikolai.
Fucked up.
He's unhinged.
This little piece slots into place for her, that all that angst that Frank's been giving towards her, it's because she's a part of the same family. So he's transferred some of that anger onto her, and he's got that war always happening of like, I'm really digging this girl, I'm falling for her, but she's a part of their family.
Church and Frank end up stepping off the shower to dry off. Benny asks Anya why she ran. She says it's because he is a monster. Benny says to her, well, you already knew that, but what makes you fear me? And she says, I don't fear you. I hate you. And here are the police at the door. They all get carted off to jail. They have nothing on them. The police let them go after 24 hours. Frank and Anya are the first to be set free, so Frank takes her back to his apartment until the rest of them get released. And that's when stuff starts to get heated between the two of them. Frank tells the story about how he went chasing after a guy who hurt a woman that was under the Butch's protection. So he flew out to Vegas, got captured by the Volkovs. Nikolai tortured him. And Anya's like, well, you got away? And he's like, it was sheer fucking luck. Nikolai got called away on an emergency call. Frank was able to get out of his binds.
But he was there for like a month.
If not longer. And the whole thing was that Nikolai was scarring him on his back before he killed him, but no one could know Frank was there because this would have ruined the start of the peace treaty. Anya says to Frank, Volkovs always pay their debt. Take out your anger on me. He picks her up and he drags her to the kitchen where he pushes her up against the counter, grabs a knife, runs it over her body. And I'm just like, fuck, this girl likes pain. She's okay with them taking this stuff out on her.
She likes a little bit of everything. She likes to deal it out, and she likes to take it. They could all use a therapist. That might help things a little bit.
Yeah.
Move past the pain.
And all of a sudden, there's a knock on the door, and it's a young man saying, Butcher's back. He wants you back at the house now. So they all get back to the warehouse, and Dylan comes in shortly after them arriving and asks Anya to help him put away clothes upstairs and basically gives Anya back her leather jacket. He cleaned it really, really well, and then a roll of money and said, I will keep your secret. For Dylan, who is so embedded in the Butcher Boys, to defend Anya like an allegiance has already been made there.
That's her magic sauce, though.
Yeah.
She seems to wrap everybody around her little finger.
So when she gets back downstairs in front of all the guys, she says, listen, if you're expecting an apology out of me, why I went down the tunnels and ended up at the duck and dive, you're not going to get it. And I'm not telling you why I ran. Benny's a little pissed. He picks her up. He throws her in the fucking trunk of his car. Anya thinks she's going to die that night.
Yeah, because her brother has always told her, if you get put in the vehicle, you're done.
She luckily has her headphones and she listens to music thinking this is going to be her last night. The car finally stops like 2 hours later. They get out. She's fighting him and he's like, relax. We're here to talk. I have a key to this place. And she looks behind and it's a mini McMansion.
I'm sorry, you can't defile an English mansion by calling it a McMansion. It is a real mansion.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
So they go inside. It's a little cold. Anya is still super, super defensive. They cuddle up. The fire's going. Benny has a real heart-to-heart with her and said, you running and what you did last night could have upended this entire peace treaty we have going. You could have ruined it with this one move. And the main reason it's being done is to birth a child, to bring the bloodlines together. He says, because I remember a time when this peace treaty wasn't in effect, and we all feared for our lives every single day with all the violence that happened. Anya's like, no, if you get me pregnant, I'll have an abortion. I mean, really upset. And he says, I am willing to commit you. I will work hard and be a good husband to you. I will be faithful. I will be in this. As much as you give, I will give right back. It was like he was making himself vulnerable at that time.
Oh, heart eyes.
God, I love him so much.
And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, I don't want to be a broodmare either. Fuck the system.
And he says to her, if you need to hurt me, you can hurt me. For what I did to you on the first night, take it out on me. She gets a fucking poker from the fireplace and puts it up against his neck. She has him take off his shirt, get down on his knees.
Yeah.
And she grabs a fucking candle and she puts it in his mouth. It is still lit. And as the candle starts to burn down, it's getting closer and closer to the wax dripping on his lips.
I had to keep rereading this section because I'm like, is it still lit? Ugh.
The candle is still lit. Yes, this scene was insane.
I mean, wax play, okay. Temperature play, okay. But like, woo, watch the flame.
Oh, he's definitely going to have burns coming out of this.
Because she takes the candle out of his mouth and then starts to drip wax down his chest.
Before she proceeds to use the candle for some other purposes. What does she use the candle for, you may ask? Well, she fucks the fucking candle while it's still lit.
Yeah, I was going to say blunt side in, flame side facing out.
So at this point, Benny's on his back.
Yep.
She was kind of straddling him, but then she leans back while she's kind of sitting on his lower stomach and proceeds to fuck herself with it. And the wax is dripping on his chest still. But here's the thing. I wanted them to fuck until she was just madly in love with him. Church can continue to be a side piece. Frank can be a side piece for all I care. But I wanted them to fully be invested. Just get over it and live happily ever after.
I sure as hell did not have fucked by a lit candle on my 2025 bingo card.
No.
Nope.
They leave the mansion agreeing that they're really going to give this a try. They're going to, in a way, commit to each other, and Church will be on the side. So what happens now, moving forward, is that Anya is being brought into the fold. They're asking her opinion on situations that they have. And we're not going to dive too deep, but there's so much more storyline about the candlestick maker. There's a guy, the czar, that Anya actually knows from her childhood, who's supposed to be the money backing for this construction project to get the construction business back on track. She's an integral part of the plan. She inserts herself. I mean, she is becoming part of their family.
It becomes like partial spy movie, which is really good.
Totally. Like, this book tied everything in a bow that we didn't get when we read The Italian. She becomes the strong mafia head woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So satisfying. Yes.
Benny says to her, listen, if everything goes well with the czar and we get this all closed up, I'm going to give you your freedom. You can get a passport if you want. You can have keys. You can go out on your own unsupervised. Because at that point, you'll be in this.
And he even agrees that he'll cut her into the jobs, too. So she'll have her own money, her own bank account.
He is a smitten kitten. He's done. All he wants is her. Anya and Frank go out on this special job. There's another side plot happening, and they're going to chase after this guy in exchange for a woman. It starts to go really bad and awry, and they have this guy in there interrogating him, and he has a cyanide capsule, and he kills himself. Well, fuck, now they didn't get any information. This guy's dead. They need a cleanup happening. They're in this interrogation room, and things are heated between Frank and Anya, and he grabs some rope, and he ties him around her wrists, and he lifts her up, and he puts her up against a hook that's attached to the wall. He ends up pulling out 2 bully clips that he has in his pocket or on the shelf. I don't know where they magically appear
I know. Well, it's an interrogation chamber, so, all sorts of contraptions.
And he attaches them to her nipples. Mm-hmm. And then he gets an electric cord that's connected to a battery. And I love the comment about he puts it on its lowest voltage because he cares.
Oh, my God. I know, right?
He doesn't want to maim her. He just wants to hurt her. And he starts rubbing it across her thigh. And then he needs distance from her. So he steps back. He grabs a paddle and he starts to whip her with it. And then he undoes her from the side of the wall and he pushes her up against a car, which I don't know how a car's in there, but nonetheless, a car's in there. And they end up fucking.
He fought it so hard.
Oh, my God.
So this scene did nothing for me.
Nothing?
Nothing. Frank did not do it for me.
He's all yours, Joey. You got it.
That's fine. That's great because in the why choose, none of us are fighting for anybody. I will keep all 3. Understanding the dynamic because each of them fills a particular hole. Like Frank asks, why church? Church makes Anya feel alive. Frank makes Anya feel seen. Benny makes Anya feel a bit cherished and appreciated. It makes sense why this happens.
It does.
It works for her.
But in the middle of them stooping, all of a sudden Dylan comes in and catches them. And he's got a couple of ladies with him. And they all see what is happening. Anya's like, we are telling him. He needs to know this is a choice I made. I want you, Frank. As they're driving back to the house, they see Benny outside the duck and dog. And they decide they're going to go back to the house with him. And they arrive back at the warehouse. Benny doesn't have his key. He tells Frank to fuck off, and Anya and Benny go inside the house. Things get a little weird because all of a sudden, Benny starts to grab all these knives and these weapons and starts putting them in a bag. Anya's like, huh? And he's like, oh, a job, honey, just business. And she's like, well, I'm part of the business. And he laughs at her.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, why is he being weird? So she says, all right, I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed. She gets upstairs, she's in the shower, and she sees Benny at the door just watching her, running his eyes over her body as she's taking a shower. She's like, well, if you tell me what business you're doing, you can join me in the shower. He's like, meet me out here when you're done. When she comes out, things all start to go absolutely fucking awry. She gets attacked. She gets pinned to the bed. She gets hit. She gets slapped and she's fighting like a little vixen to try to protect herself. What the fuck just happened? How did things get crazy? And she's hitting and she's landing blows on him. What we think is Benny grabs a knife out of the nightstand and starts to cut her.
Yeah.
Which,
And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, I just need a little hit. I have a headache. And then I can do this right. I just need just a little bump. Benny ties Anya to the bed with the sash of a robe, and he goes downstairs looking for coke. Then the POV flips, and we hear that it is actually Danny. Somehow, he got fucking out. I don't think we ever find out how the fuck he got out of the tunnels.
he basically smashed his way out.
Yeah.
He was like, all that time I spent throwing myself at that gate finally paid off. It finally came off its hinges. The willing suspension of disbelief for me was really hard for this because I'm like, this man has been tied up, unshowered, with no clothes, no haircut, no barber, no food. 3 months on basically a loaf of bread to last him 3 days. He would have been gaunt,
Yeah.
hairy, dirty, stinky. I don't know.
Trope for twins. You got to go with it.
We're going with it.
So Danny goes downstairs and ends up opening up the safe and finds a fucking entire brick of coke. And he's snorting it. The clarity is coming back to him when he hears a car pull up the drive and he hears voices. It's Church and Benny back. And he's like, okay, well, guess now's not my time. And he dives out the motherfucking window. Church has a job to go do, so he ends up leaving, and all Benny can think about is Anya. Finding her, being with her, he can't wait till Frank and Anya come home. He hopes the job went well, grabs himself a glass of whiskey, goes to take a shower. While he's in the shower, Anya is able to use her teeth to untie herself from the bed, puts the robe around her body, comes downstairs and finds the brick of coke on the coffee table, and all of a sudden gets a plan. When she sees a glass of whiskey on the counter, that she's going to put the coke in it, and no one would think twice if he has an overdose. Everybody knows he's a coke addict. So she puts tons of coke in there, dilutes it, and all of a sudden, Benny comes down the stairs. All she knows is that it's Danny in the situation that just happened. And they just start to have a conversation, and it's weird.
It was weird because the dynamic was that he was going to approach Anya at that moment. So he was like kind of pissed off and he was kind of baiting her and asking her these questions. Then she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it was kind of a confusing conversation because she doesn't realize that she's talking to 2 different people in the last 15 minutes.
But she hands Benny the glass. She has poured one for herself.
They each drink down their whiskey. Benny says to Anya, well, before we get in the conversation about you fucking another one of my best mates, I think it's time I tell you the truth.
His heart is pounding already because he's nervous about telling her the whole plan that he and Church had about displacing Danny, proving to the Butcher gang that he didn't betray them, proving to the firm that he didn't rat them out to the police when he was incarcerated. Like, there's this huge plan. And so he's wanting to talk to her about the truth. So he doesn't really understand that he's not feeling so good. He thinks it's his nerves. And then it's harder and harder for him to think, and then sweating, and then, uh-oh.
Takes her a while to kind of get up to speed what he is saying to her. And then all of a sudden, the little light bulb goes off in little Anya's head, and she's like, "You're not Danny?" And he confirms, "No, you only met Danny on the first night." And then she instantly realized, "Oh, fuck. Danny escaped. Oh, fuck." And as these realizations were happening, Benny starts to notice the blood on her legs from all the cuts that actual Danny gave her. In the middle of all this, he falls on the floor, passes out.
My Benny.
Benny is on the floor ODing.
So then this starts part 3. And when I tell you shit gets unhinged in part 3, well, you're going to have to read the fucking book to find out.
Oh my God, it gets so fucking unhinged. I can't even begin to tell you.
I have questions.
Yeah, there's lots of questions.
Yeah.
Literally, part 3 brings you to the 72% mark of the book. What happens? Does Benny die?
Oh my God, Lex. I fucking messaged Joey in the middle of the day because I was listening on my lunch break and I was freaking the fuck out at this moment. I was like, oh my God, is Benny gonna fucking die? I can't listen anymore. I have to go back to work. Oh my God. I was freaking the fuck out. And she's, working. And so she doesn't respond back to me. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, I got to listen more. And I put my headphones back on and I text her back and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, we're good.
Well, you're good for that 10 pages.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I was kind of a little tad disappointed at what happened at the end. I think I wanted more climactic.
What, we top out at almost 700 pages.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked to have had this in 2 books and then expanded a little more in part 3 because there's some things that get solved, but they're solved what I would call, for movie terms, off screen. A couple things got wrapped up so quickly that I'm like, no.
That's a great question. Did you want more of that detail?
I did.
Did you find that this was too much detail? Because there was a lot happening here.
Then I'm going to say something wicked controversial. You ready?
Oh, shit. What's she going to say?
Give me a little less smut and fill out these other details.
And it's funny that you say that because I didn't think this was very smut heavy. For a reverse harem, we could have absolutely gone deeper.
But we're saying every other moment she's getting off on something.
I know, it's true.
But she's not up to this point. It was maybe a dozen times for a reverse harem. That's not a lot.
Well, you know what I think? I think we need to rate this then.
Yeah, I can't wait.
This is going to be nuts. How are we going to land on this book? Did we deliver with mafia kink, white choose kink, and dark romance kink all at the same time? So we are going to start with the romance, the heartbeat, the love component of it. You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 roses. I want to start with you, Lex. Was this book romantic for you?
Yes, and I'm going to put it at a 4. We have a few smitten kittens in this. Church fell hard right away. There was absolutely all that chemistry with the two of them. Frank, you got the internal fight. Do I, don't I, do I, don't I? And then Benny's kind of right in the middle. He just wants to make a nice home.
Oh, God, I love Benny.
He realizes he's got a kingdom to rule. He needs an heir. Let's just make the kingdom all nice and lovely, and I need my queen. They've each got their own romance. So I actually think it's kind of romance heavy. So I'm giving it a 4.
Nice. Birds.
I am coming in at a 3.5. You're going to notice a theme in my ratings for this book. That's because I really, really, really wanted the romance to get way more developed between Benny and her.
Because he was your favorite. You
Yes.
wanted to see that progress.
And I feel like they gave so much romantic development to Frank and Church that they almost just kind of skipped over a ton with Benny. And they were like, oh, yeah. And then they had a conversation and then they moved on.
I can see how you feel that way.
They really spent a lot of time developing the other two, almost because they were the side pieces. they almost felt like they needed more conversation.
Yeah.
Because they're not actually side pieces.
Exactly.
Right.
To prove that they're not just side pieces. But they never established the depth of the romance with Benny, which was what I was just waiting for so desperately and never really got satisfied all the way. I was so pissed off because I never felt truly sated with the romance because I just wanted me some absolute mushy-gushy Benny romance, and I didn't really get it. Here's the thing, though. I do enjoy a side piece, but just fucking do it when he's in the goddamn room.
Yes.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the beautiful smutty scene in the club.
Oh, that was so
on
hot.
the fucking
That was
toilet.
like actually my favorite scene.
Ooh.
But you bring up a good point, Birdie, because for me, it's you can have whatever relationship you want as long as you have your rules and you play by the fucking rules.
Yes.
I think I'm aligning with Lex. I'm going at it a 4. Each of the 3 relationships was rather different. The dynamics are very different between Anya and Church, Anya and Benny, and Anya and Frank. They fill holes for each other. So it's no longer Swiss cheese. Now we have a nice Gouda.
We're all Gouda.
Let's move on to the beautiful, beautiful smut. Was it beautiful, or was it just one silent little raindrop coming from that gray cloud in the sky? You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 raindrops. All right, starting with you, Birdie.
Because I never got enough with Benny, and because Frank didn't do it for me, I mean, Church did it. And the scenes with Benny and Church were great. And the scenes with Benny were good, but I just was like, oh my God, there's more there. I just know there's more and I want more. Ugh, I'm so torn. It was well written. Do I think other people will absolutely enjoy the shit out of this? Yes. But for me, I was just like, okay, yeah, that was a really fun mafia book with like some smut, but it didn't get me like all hot and bothered. So I'm going with like a 3.5 again.
I can't wait, Lex. Where did this rank for you in that category?
It's going to be a 5.
No.
Really?
Wow.
And I'm giving it a 5, not just personal preference, but also looking at it objectively of quantity, quality, and diversity. Got a little bit for everybody.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
want it just hot, fast, and passionate? You got that. You want it to be angry? Sure, you got that. You want it to be female dominated? You got that. Threesome with it going in every orifice? You got that there too.
Yeah.
Objectively, this is a 5 in smut.
You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you. Yeah. But I am.
It's fine.
If I was a reverse harem noob, this would be a 5 all the way. But I'm a professional. I've read a lot of these. And I know what I like out of my wide chooses. So this lands me at a 3.5. Was the smut good? Absolutely. Was there a lot of heat in it? Absolutely. Lex, I think you hit it perfectly on the head. There was something for everybody. It was a great variety. But when I'm rating a wide choose, I want a lot more, many people fucking at the same time. And what really tickles this fancy is when we have the boys playing with each other. And there was none of that, not even a little ball tickling.
I know.
Like, if you're going to go for it, fucking go for it.
I might have to go down to a 4.75.
I know. We will allow it. Will we allow it, Joey?
Listen, I don't want to taint you from what you felt at that moment.
Part of that score for me was, my personal preference plus what I think's out there for everybody else. And you just reminded me that there's a good little piece of spice that's missing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so true.
When it comes to that being the reverse harem, I really do enjoy that, breaking that sexual boundary where you're like wild and free. I'm not saying that you got to get ass fucked on your first time out, but like touching your other partner to feel that chemistry and connection. You're all together. And I get about a woman being serviced and it's all about her, but come on, a little touchy touch, a little kissy kiss.
I agree.
Especially when it's 3 macho mafia men and it is forbidden fruit. Whoa.
That would have been, I got the whipped cream, the nuts, and 4 maraschino cherries on top of my sundae. Now you're already doing something taboo and you're continuing to push that line because you want it. because you need it. You want to feel that.
And watching a character go through that transformation and finally breaking that barrier down and going past it is so thrilling.
Yeah.
Joey, I think that's the first time I've ever changed a score.
No, you've done it once.
Have I done it before? Okay.
Yep, I won't let you forget.
You didn't submit your V card today.
Okay.
It's already been given up. Okay? We're throwing a hot dog down the tunnel. I'm a weirdo. I know. Oh, this is why we keep me around. I say the most random shit. All right, let's move on to what is the big driver of this book, the story. You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 storybooks. All right, Lex, how did you feel about this story?
I am going to give the story a 3.75. There's a lot of really great plot going through it. It's well written. And we said it earlier in the podcast, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But just like there's some spots where I'm like, I needed that fleshed out a little more. I want to know how Benny convinces the firm that everything is A-okay. I want to know how he gets the Butcher Boys back on his side. And that's just kind of like, boop, it's all set. And they're just like these little Easter eggs that are all throughout the story that I'm like, what's up with that? Where are you going with that? And I felt like it just kind of was there and never got explained. So I'm going with a 3.75.
They did have 4 pages available to hit the 700-page mark. Yeah.
Yeah, ladies, tell me, what was up with all the duckies and the ducky references? That's my 4 pages that I want. Crystal duck, fuzzy duck, dog and duck, duck and dive. Come on.
They just really like ducks, you know?
Birdie, please save us.
This book was such a roller coaster of a story. This is the kind of book that you cannot read alone because you need somebody to text who has read it. All I can say is if you need somebody to text and you don't have anybody there, you can DM us on any of our social platforms and chat it out. Because once you get past the point that we've already talked about here, the plot gets fucking crazy. And when you get to that epilogue, you could just fucking call me because it is so insane. I was like, what the fuck? Like, reading my notes is so funny because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Okay, so that didn't happen. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then you get to this other part and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Wait, so that didn't happen. Wait, okay. So this didn't happen? I can't believe this didn't happen. This book was so much fun to read, but it irritated the living fucking shit out of me in the last 10% because it just got so unbelievable. I almost need to land for the story at a 3.75. In theory, it was a 5. I loved the mafia portion. I loved the depth of the detail. It was funny. It had some good sweet moments. It was complicated in a way that made it truly engaging all the way to the very end. But God damn it, do I not like a Hollywood ending. So I had to knock it down a little bit for that.
So I'm a bit torn because I love these authors. You read any of their other series, they're meaty books. They work hard on their plots and storylines. This being so intricate with the mafia component and being a standalone, and the two of them being authors who generally write gigantic 15-book series, I feel like they threw all the spaghetti at the wall, and it may have been a little much for me. So this is landing me at a 3.5. I liked the balance of the relationships. I think that was outlined really well. I think all the things happening in the mafia world. First of all, you have a brother posing as his twin brother, coming back, trying to retake over the region. Then you find out it's not just them, that they have this secret underground control over the entire country in the mafia because of this firm that they are. Then you have the candlestick makers coming in the territory. Then you have the Tsar, which they need, which they're doing this big plot on, and they steal something that belongs to the Tsar. And we get to the point where you're like, is it Tuesday? What fucking day is this? And it took me days to write notes on this. The notes I was taking for each chapter were like 5 pages long.
Oh, Jesus
This
Christ.
is like a 45-chapter book. I had to dwindle my notes down, and I created an outline at 5 o'clock this morning. I'm like, fuck, this episode's going to be 7 days long. So for me, it was just a little much.
Yeah,
So I
you're
would have
right.
liked a slight little pullback. So 3.5. Last but not least, when we mix it all together and you close the 696 pages of this book and said, I am finally fucking done, or hit stop on your 20-hour audio recording, what did you feel about it? You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 Eggy Parmesan plants. Lex? No, Bernie.
However you
no,
want to do it.
I like to be even. I like to treat you both the same way.
Well, you don't.
Birdie, please.
If I was reading this alone, I probably would give it a 3. When I read it with other people that I can talk it through with and have a lot of fun with it, I give it a 3.75 because I need desperately the outlet to talk about this book. But if I was just in my own head, I would have been so fucking annoyed and I wouldn't have ever gotten the outlet for it. And I would have just landed with that annoyance. And I would have been like, fuck, well, that was fun, but I'm fucking pissed.
So what you're saying is, for this particular reverse harem, you need a harem of readers to actually share it with.
Yes. Yes. Because it was just so wild at the end for me that I just had lots of feelings.
Lex, where do you land?
I actually land at a 3.75 for this. Yes, there was romance. Yes, there was smut. But when you kind of put it all together, it still felt kind of wobbly and uneven for me. What you were saying before, Bertie, about like the last percentage of the book colored maybe your experience a bit. That's how I felt. At the very end, some other pieces, which I don't want to spoil for readers because I want you to read it. I'm like, how did it end up that way? And then we get to the epilogues and I'm like, why is this the focus of the epilogues? And all I have to say is clown car womb. Whoa,
Yeah.
no. Especially for somebody who said she was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be a breeder. Oof. Also, those boys really broke the rules. Benny had another rule besides I need to be in the room, and both Frankie and Church broke that rule a whole shitload.
And you wonder why I was fucking pissed. My fucking man. Oh.
So anyway, 3.75.
I'm going to tell you I am completely not impartial. I love these authors. I will continue to read what these authors do, so this book's landing me at a 4. I will say I did not like how the book ended. I was not happy as a clam, but I didn't let it color the rest of the book. I think it was a beautifully weaved story. I really liked the character development. I liked the relationships that they had with each other. Would I have liked to see this as a small little series? Absolutely. I think they could have blown this out of the water. I enjoyed this. I liked it a lot. I'm going to be a snoot and give them a 4. Well, you've suffered through another episode of the Lusty Library Podcast. You should be very proud of yourself because you made a good life choice tuning in. Please make sure you follow us on our social media sites, the Lusty Library Podcast, on Facebook and Instagram, or go over to Blue Sky. We are the Lusty Library Pod.
And hey, we know you're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, one of those wonderful places. We know you're on there. We know you're on there all the time. Go on over, click the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time we launch a new episode.
But in the vein of today's book, why choose? Go to all. Follow us.
Are you ready to hear what we're doing next episode? I think it's time for a little guy on guy.
Oh, really?
It's not just any guy on guy. Come and find out what the extra spice is. So we're going to be reading For the Fans by Nyla K.
God, I cannot wait.
I think I'm going to have to take an ice bath before we sit down and record for that episode.
Yeah, seriously.
As always, we greatly thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.